It's a beautiful day for remote learning, a beautiful day for a lesson. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a studently day in this beauty wood, a studently day for a lesson. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a student just like you. I've always wanted to teach in a classroom with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my student? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please won't you be my student?
Hi everyone, welcome back to Miss Nichols' Neighborhood. It's me, your teacher, Miss Nickel, and I'm here with my best remote teacher helper, my sister Kaylee Nickel.
Hi.
Hi. Today, I'm kind of excited about this lesson. It's super fun. You know, as you'll see in your agenda, you have a kind of fun song that you can think about when doing it. Today's lesson is all about compare numbers to 1,000. So we're going to have two numbers and we're going to compare them. That means we're going to find out which number is greater or bigger, which the number is less than or smaller, or maybe see if the numbers are equal to each other or equal, the same. Okay? But before I just jump in, let me once again review these important terms because we're going to also learn about some new signs today. Okay? Up here, you see a sign. It looks like the tip of an arrow. This is called the greater than sign, meaning the number on this side is greater than a number on the other side. Big number, small number, greater than, okay? And we'll practice how we'll read it and use those terms in a little bit. The next sign, I think we really know, this still is the equal sign. That means we have a number, and then we have that same number on the other side. The numbers are the same or equal to each other. The same number, equal. Then finally, you have again that tip of the arrow, but it's pointing the other way now. It's like flip. This sign is the less than sign, meaning on this side, instead of having a bigger or greater number, you'll have a less or smaller number, less than the big number. Okay? So let's go ahead and just practice saying greater than, equal to, less than. I'm going to say the word, then I'm going to ask you to say the word. You ready?
Okay.
Ready, set, greater than.
What?
Greater than. Big number, smaller number. Greater than. The next sign, get ready to say equal to.
Okay.
Equal to. Equal. The same numbers. Then, the next one, say less than.
No.
Good. Less than. Small number, less than, big number, less than. Okay? Now I might be like, okay, these are some cool symbols, but I'll be honest, sometimes I even forget which way they go. So, a way that I really like to remember it is you think of this as like a little alligator's mouth. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Okay? If you look at it that way, it's like the sign has little teeth on it, little alligator mouth. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Think about how it's like an alligator mouth. The alligator is always going to want to eat more. The alligator mouth is always going to want to eat the bigger number. Okay? So it'll all come together in a minute. Okay? You'll see how the mouth, the open side of the sign, always faces towards the bigger or greater or larger number, like the alligator mouth. So if the bigger number is over here, the alligator mouth faces that way because the alligator wants to eat the bigger number. If it's the less than sign, smaller number, bigger number, the alligator mouth faces this way because it wants to chomp, eat the bigger number. But don't just take my word for it. Let's go ahead and see how we're actually going to compare the numbers and where these signs will actually be used. Okay?
Cool.
Let's go ahead and look up at our first comparing numbers problem. We're going to go ahead and read the first number and then the second number. Then I'll show you how we're going to compare the numbers. Let's go ahead, get ready to read this first number. Ready, set, read with me. 542. If you didn't quite get it, because it might still be hard to say hundreds numbers, that's okay. Try it again. Say 542. 542. Good. This circle, not a zero, it's where we'll have to place one of the signs. Then we're comparing 542 to this number. Let's get ready to read this number. Ready, set, read with me. 211. 211. So we're comparing 542 to 211. Now you might be like, how do I know which sign to put in? Well, that we're going to find out next. To compare these numbers, we're going to line them up. Just like you've done with addition and subtraction, we're going to write the number 542, and I'll write the next number right below it. We're not going to do addition or subtraction with it. It's just going to help us compare the numbers. All right, 211. If you want, you can even draw a line separating the hundreds, tens, and ones sides, okay? To compare the numbers, I know, addition and subtraction would always start in the ones, but to compare the numbers, we're going to start in the hundred spot. So what spot are we going to start in? The hundred spot.
Yeah.
And we're going to see which number is bigger. And that way, we'll know which way to face the alligator mouth, okay? You want to be ready with the alligator mouth?
Huh?
Be ready, okay? So let's look. Let's just compare or look at 5 and 2. Think about it. 5 and 2. 500 or 200? What's the bigger, greater number? Just 2 or 5? What's the bigger number there?
5.
5, yes, good job, Kaylee. 5 is the bigger number. That's the big number. That's what we want. So that means we're going to take our alligator mouth and make sure it's facing the big number.
Okay.
By seeing that already, 500 is bigger than just the 2 and the 200 number. We already know 542 is greater than or bigger than 211. Nice job. Okay, so that's why the alligator mouth is facing 542 because it's the bigger number. And if you didn't already have a little alligator mouth ready to put on it, how you would write it, you do the mouth, you go, okay, mouth, big mouth towards it. And there you have, you'd read it as 542 is greater than 211.
Ooh.
Yes, nice job. Okay, hopefully we're starting to see, okay, maybe Miss Nichols on the right track there with the alligator mouth. Remembering that alligator mouth is always open towards the greater, bigger number. We're definitely going to be trying quite a few more problems to get more and more used to these signs. We'll be right back.
Okay.
We're back with our next problem. We have two new numbers that we have to compare. And then we have to decide which way the sign is going to go. Remember, the alligator mouth goes towards the bigger number. Or if the numbers are the same, they're equal to each other. But let's go ahead and read the two numbers we're comparing. You're going to read it with me. Ready, set, read with me. 132. Let's read that again. 132.
32.
We're going to compare it to this number. Ready, set, read with me. 413.
30.
413. 132 comparing to 413. Remember, to compare the numbers, you're going to write them on top of each other so you can compare them. So I'm going to write 132, and then right below it, I'm going to line up the number 413. Once again, if you need to, draw lines down the middle to keep track of your hundreds, the H, tens, T, and one spot. Different than our addition and subtraction, to compare numbers, we're going to start in the hundreds. So this time we do start all the way to the left, the hundred side. We need to look at just the hundreds and compare the 1 and the 4. Looking at just 1 for 100 and 4 for 400, what's the bigger or greater number? 1 or 4? What's the bigger number?
5.
4. Good work, Kaylee. Yes. So right there, we know that 413 is bigger than 132. Now it's time for us to decide which way our alligator mouth goes. Remember, the alligator mouth is open to the greater number, the bigger number. So that means our mouth needs to be open to 413. The alligator wants to eat it. He wants to eat the most he can.
Oh boy.
So I make sure I'm at 413. I start with the open mouth right there, and then boop, make sure I'm using the sign that opens to the bigger number. And so then, if I was reading it correctly, that would be the less than sign. That means I'd read it as 132 is less than, meaning it's smaller than, 413. That would be correct. 132 is less than 413.
13.
And since the alligator is always hungry, he'll always want to eat the bigger number. That's why it's facing 413. Okay, hopefully we're starting to get more comfortable with it. We're going to do quite a few more problems. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Here we are with our next problem. Let's go ahead and read the two numbers we're comparing. You're going to read it with me. Ready, set, read with me. 253. Read it again. 253. 253. Good. We're going to compare it to, ready, set, read with me, 257. 257. 253 comparing to 257. Nice. Okay. Let's remember to compare numbers. We're going to write them right underneath or on top of each other so we can compare them. So I write 253. And then right below it, I'm going to write 257. And I'm going to draw lines down the middle to help me more easily see my hundreds, tens, and ones. Let's go ahead, start with the hundred side and compare the numbers. Look here, in the hundred side, what two numbers do I have, Kaylee?
2
And
5.
what's this number? 2.
2.
2 and 2. 2 and 2. Are those different or the same? They're the same. But don't just jump in and go writing the equal sign, because even though the hundreds are the same, we have to check that every other number is the same for it to be equal. Let's see. So the hundreds are the same. Okay, 200 something. Let's look in the tens spot. In the tens spot, I have 5 and 5. Are those different or the same? They're the same. But do I go and write equal yet? Nope. Still got to check the one spot. So same, same. Look in the one spot though. We have 3 and 7. Are 3 and 7 the same?
Yes.
No, 3 and 7 are different numbers. Good thing we didn't just rush in and write the equal sign. That would have been wrong because the ones are different. Let's go ahead and compare. Now we have to see, is 3 or 7 the bigger, greater number? 3 or 7? What's the bigger, greater number? Just 3 or 7?
7.
7 is the bigger number. Good. So, I'm going to circle it to help me remember. Good. Since 7 is greater than 3, I now know that 257 is bigger or larger than 253. So now I know I do need to use the alligator mouth signs. The alligator mouth needs to point towards the bigger number, which is 257.
Ooh.
Okay. So that means I'm going to go right here in the circle. I see 257. I'm going to make the tips of the alligator mouth. It's going to be open to that number. Then we'll close it towards the smaller number. 253. Right there. Alligator mouth is open to the bigger number because the alligator always wants to eat the most, the greater number. But if we go back and read it, we'll make sure to use the less than, because this is the less than sign. It would read 253 is less than, meaning it's smaller than 257, which would make sense there, because 253 is smaller or less than 257. Okay. Nice job. Remember, got to check very carefully the hundreds, tens, and ones space. Because even if the hundreds and tens are the same, the ones, there could still be a greater number based on the ones. Let's go ahead and keep practicing.
Okay.
We're back with our next problem. We have two new numbers we need to compare. See if a number is greater than, or if they're equal to, or if a number is less than each other. So let's go ahead and read what numbers we're comparing. And read with me, okay? Ready, set, read with me. 689. Again, good, Kaylee. 689. 689. We're going to compare that number to, ready, set, read with me, 627. 627. 627. So we're comparing 689, 627. Let's go ahead and write the numbers on top of each other so we can see if one is bigger or which one's smaller, if they're the same. Let's see. So I'm going to write the first number, 689. Then I'm going to write the next number I'm comparing right below it. Make sure to line up the hundreds, tens, and ones number. 627. And I'm going to even draw lines down so I can double check my hundreds, tens, and ones place. Okay? Remember, what side do we start with when comparing numbers? Hundreds, tens, or ones? Which number do we start with? We start with the hundred side. I know that's totally different than addition and subtraction, but you gotta remember, start on the left side, the hundred side. So looking at just the hundreds, we have 6 and 6. Are 6 and 6 different or the same number? The same number, yes. But should I just rush in and go write the equal sign right away?
Baby.
I think I better go check the tens next. Let's make sure. 6 and 6, okay, both in 600. Now I look at the tens. I have 8 and 2. 8 and 2. Are 8 and 2 the same number or different numbers? They're different numbers. 8 and 2 are totally different numbers. So I have to compare them. Which is the bigger number? 8 or 2? What's the bigger number? 8 or 2? What's bigger or greater than?
8.
Yes, 8 is the bigger number. So since there's a difference right there, I know 689 is bigger than 627. That's going to help me know which sign to write. Because now I know my alligator mouth has to face 689. So I find that number. I make sure to have my alligator mouth open towards them. And then I finish drawing the rest of the sign. Then I can go back and double check, reading that that's the greater than sign. And it reads 689 is greater than 627.
Ooh.
Yes, 689 is greater than or bigger than 627.
Heck yeah.
Yay! And we did the correct sign because it makes sense to say 689 is greater than or bigger than 627 because it has a bigger number in the tens space. Nice job. We're going to come back with one last problem to try.
Heck yeah.
Here we are with our last problem in this lesson video. Let's go ahead and see what numbers we're comparing in this problem. Ready? We're going to read it together. Set, read with me. 150.
50.
Let's read it again. 150. 150. Good. Comparing it to this number. Let's get ready to read it together. Ready, set, read with me. 150. Again, 150. 150. So we're comparing 150 to 150. Maybe you're already thinking, hey, Miss Nickel, that sounds like the same number. If you're super positive and you think you already know what sign it is, great. But I know that for some of our students, it can get a little confusing to read all these numbers in a row. So I'm going to still follow through with writing the numbers lined up to compare them, okay? Just in case, it doesn't hurt to double check. So I'm going to write 150 and then 150 below it. 150. Good. And I'll draw lines between the numbers. So I remember my hundreds, tens, and one spot. Remember, start comparing on the hundred side, the far left side. Let's look at the hundred side. I have number 1 and 1. Are 1 and 1 the same?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, remember, let's go on to check the tens. Now in the tens spot, I have 5 and 5. Are 5 and 5 different or the same?
Yeah.
They're the same. 5, 5. That's the same number. Okay. Well, let's double check now in the ones space. I have 0 and 0. 0 and 0, are those different or the same numbers? They're the same. 0, 0, they're the same. What? Do I have the same numbers? Yeah, 150. So the alligator, he doesn't get any of them. Instead, we get to write the equal sign to say, hey, these are the same numbers, equals. Nice job. 150 equals 150. That's because they're exactly the same number in the hundreds, tens, and ones spot. Nice job. Okay, hopefully you've had an introduction and some practice to our greater than, equal to, and less than signs. Remember, the same numbers, you write an equal sign. Otherwise, you have to compare the numbers, and the alligator mouth faces the number that's bigger. Okay? So see, bigger number, alligator mouth wants to eat it. Over here, smaller number, bigger number over here, alligator wants to eat it. Please do your best to remember that. Think of the alligator sign as you do your learning packet, okay? Have a great rest of your remote learning day, everyone. Bye.
Heck yeah.